Good morning and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann and we're delighted to be here again with you today with everyone listening on WNDZ 750 AM here in Chicago and all who are watching our live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago. Whenever we discuss what makes Catholic Charities unique in the city of Chicago, the stories of our employees quickly come to mind as being a very special contributing factor. Some Catholic Charities staff members have been extraordinarily dedicated to our clients and to our mission over decades of their lives. We recently held the annual Catholic Charities Staff Awards ceremony to acknowledge our colleagues who are celebrating employment anniversaries of 5 years or more. And we are thrilled to have 3 of these honorees with us today. They are Silvia Gallardo, Nancy Gavilanes, and Nancy Gavilanes, who are each celebrating 35 years of devotion to Catholic Charities, and Ruben Anzures, who is celebrating 25 years of service. Welcome, Silvia, Nancy, and Ruben.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're so delighted to have you all with us today. Nancy, can we please start off with you? You serve as Director of Immigration and Naturalization Services. Can you tell us how you first became involved with Catholic Charities?
Okay, now, so 36 years ago, I met a former employee while I was walking with my 2 toddler daughters on a cold November day. So 36 years ago, I met this person, in our conversation, she asked me about if I knew or I was familiar with Catholic Charities, to which I responded no. So she started to talk about all the outstanding services provided by this agency. But what caught my attention and impressed me the most was how she spoke about the employees' passion, compassion, and commitment on servicing our clients, and how our clients had a place to come back over and over and get services from us. I guess she saw how impressed I was with that. And she mentioned an opening in the immigration program. Knowing that I speak Spanish, she invited me to apply. I thought for a week about it because, as I said, at that time, I had 2 children, 2 toddlers, but I decided to take a chance. I called Catholic Charities. I sent my resume, and the rest is history. I've been here for 35 years, and I'm still working with immigrants.
And we've been so blessed to have you, Nancy, through all of that time. You know, I know you've mentioned and shared with me before that you really were there when Catholic Charities Immigration Department got established. Can you tell us how and when that came about?
Okay, so unofficially, the immigration program was established in 1972 for low-income immigrants seeking help bringing family members from abroad. In the early 70s, immigrants from Mexico, Central American and South American was increasing. And they didn't have a place to go and request help to complete all the paperwork required. So Catholic Charities was established this program, and we helped thousands and thousands of immigrants reunify with family members from abroad. So the goal was family reunification, which still our main focus is family reunification at this time. So we provide low-cost, quality immigration legal services and to low-income family members and to low-income clients.
And what a blessing that those services are in the low-income households, that they really aren't sure what their options are. They don't know what their rights and responsibilities are, and they can't afford the professionals to guide them. So what a blessing you've been in their lives. Nancy, can you share any client stories through your 35 years that have been especially memorable for you?
I have one specifically that it took place in 1987 when I started. It is a Vietnamese girl who came with an American family after the war, and she was separated from her parents and her family. And she came to my office. I remember I was new at the time, and she was asking me, my parents are in Canada now, and I'm not able to go because I don't have a passport. So what I did is I through at the time Senator Simon's office, I requested an advance parole. It is a permit allowing immigrants to travel outside from the United States and come back without any penalty. So she was allowed to leave, met her parents, and come back without any problems. And then we helped her apply for asylum at the time. And so that is my success story. We have hundreds, if not thousands of success stories. But I think this story I will keep in my mind for the rest of my life because it was my first good outcome of applying for an advance parole specifically.
Well, it's a wonderful story of the difference Catholic Charities makes in people's lives and your leadership as well, Nancy. Can I ask, you've been with Catholic Charities through so many years of development and growth in Cook and Lake counties. Is there a model that you have developed or adapted to, through the years? Any words of advice, that have really helped guide your principles and your leadership every day in the immigration department through 35 years?
I think, the most important thing is to know the clients that you are helping as an immigrant. And I didn't have to go through all what our immigrants go through to just come from abroad. But as an immigrant, I know how isolated you can be. So I think what I established among our colleagues is to be compassionate, to just think and about people having harder problems than we have, and be compassionate. We be grateful to what we have, the employment that we have, the work that we have, the job that we have, and just help them. And collaboration is important with other organizations. We need to collaborate, not just with other organizations, with programs within Catholic Charities. And so we can help our clients to be successful and to be part of the community, which is very important once they become legalized. It is important to help them to become part of the society.
So well spoken, Nancy, and I can't help but think, that your knowledge plus also your tremendous empathy have been great assets in the way that you've been able to be so successful at Catholic Charities for 35 years. Please stand by. We would like to ask you a few more questions, but we'd like to also move on to Ruben Anzures, who has been with Catholic Charities for 25 years. Just reminding our audience, we're celebrating longtime employees of Catholic Charities in this edition of The Voice of Charity. We just had our annual staff award ceremony, and so we're celebrating with 3 different honorees this year. Ruben, you are our treasurer manager in our finance department. Can you share with our audience how you first became associated with Catholic Charities?
Yes, good morning. When I used to go to church to St. Pius in Pilsen with Father Chuck. So in that church, I became friends. I made some friends. One of them asked me once what I used to do in Mexico. And I'll say I have an accountant degree and I have a lot of experience in finance, but because my limited English at that moment was I was not able to find a good job, opportunity in the field. A few conversations after that, one day he called me and said, we have an opening in accounts payable. I didn't know what it was. When I came here, it was a surprise for me to see there was Catholic Charities. And I started working in accounts payable. That's how it started.
And so can you share with our audience a little bit about what your day-to-day responsibilities are now?
Yes. Well, basically, one of the most important tasks we have in my department is to make sure the funds received in the bank are safe. So we check every day that the funds received are funded, allocated to the right programs, that the bank accounts, certain bank accounts like a payroll, for example, will be fully funded when it's needed, and inform all the departments what the funds received so they can record it and acknowledge the donation received.
And so, Ruben, over the years, you have really seen up front the impact that donations make in Catholic Charities' ability to help people in need across Cook and Lake County. Can you speak a little bit about that? It really is vital that people contribute to our mission and support it, because every single donation matters, doesn't it?
Definitely. Well, our finance department is being lead and supervised also by our CEO, Elida Hernandez, and the VP of Finance, Beth Seaman. And also we have a board of directors that oversees the whole operation if we're talking about investments. But we make sure that the funds are allocated to the programs, and every single program and every single staff in Catholic Charities, they do their best to support, to give the services, provide the services that the agency is giving them.
Well, and, so you're not only responsible for making sure that each program is able to fund, their employees and their operations on a day-to-day basis, but like I said, you're planning, working with the giving department, major gifts department, development department, to process donations and make sure that every donation has an impact as well, correct?
Correct.
And so
definitely.
Every time we reach out to donors across Cook and Lake County and we say, can you please support our work? Ruben is one of the people who welcomes your donation and is profoundly grateful for it. Am I right, Ruben?
Yes, definitely.
And can you share, is there a motto or a guiding principle that you've used throughout your 25 years of Catholic Charities and serving and helping fulfill the mission?
Yes, definitely. Well, my in finance, you cannot make mistakes. And if you do, you have to correct it right away. So my motto is basically do your task the first time correctly, so you don't have to do it twice.
I think that's a great motto, really, for your division, but also for all of us to take to mind and see if it applies to our own life. Do it right the first time, so you don't have to do it twice. I think there's another similar thing in the carpentry world, right? Measure twice and cut once, something like that. I've heard that before. Kind of the same principle, right? Yeah, well, It's so thrilling to hear of our longtime leaders. And if you'll please bear with us here on The Voice of Charity, we're going to take a break. And when we continue, we're going to follow our discussion with 3 longtime Catholic Charities employees who are celebrating special anniversaries this year, along with all of our honorees. Please stay tuned. Join Catholic Charities on Friday, December 2nd for the 33rd Annual Spirit of St. Nicholas Ball at the Chicago Hilton. The Spirit of St. Nicholas Ball is one of the most elegant galas of the holiday season in Chicago, and proceeds provide critical funding for our programs and services into the new year. Families, friends, and work colleagues make a tradition out of gathering at this extraordinary black tie event to celebrate the Christmas season. Enjoy an opening reception, gourmet meal, and live entertainment courtesy of the Ken Arlen Orchestra, all in support of Catholic Charities. Don't miss this special night for a great cause on Friday, December 2nd. To purchase tickets for the Spirit of St. Nicholas Ball, visit catholiccharities.net/events or call 312-948-6963. That's 312-948-6963.
There is no doubt this life is short. It is in you I trust to spread your truths, your goodness, and love. It is you who will give a leader to our church. Who will fill these shoes?
Catholic Charities' 75th annual celebration of giving is underway in support of those who are struggling to make ends meet every day. Individuals, families, colleagues, neighbors, parishioners, and friends purchase thousands of gifts and basic necessities to ensure Catholic Charities clients and their families have a joyful Christmas morning. There are many ways to get involved, including online wish lists that make giving easier than ever before. If you can join us in this special Chicago Christmas tradition as volunteers and donors, please email us at cog@catholiccharities.net. That's cog@catholiccharities.net. Or call 312-655-7401 in Cook County and 847-782-4210 in Lake County. Thank you for helping us spread Christmas cheer this year throughout Cook and Lake counties.
Welcome back to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and it's my great pleasure today to be here with three of my colleagues, fellow staff members at Catholic Charities who are celebrating longtime anniversaries with Catholic Charities in terms of fulfilling our mission as employees. We had our annual staff awards ceremony within the last couple weeks, and so our live stream has been showing the program from that event as well as photos from that event. And so my three colleagues who are with me today are three of, I believe it was over 40 staff members who are acknowledged for having 5-year anniversaries. And so both Nancy Gavilanes and Silvia Gallardo, who are with us today, are celebrating 35 years of dedication to Catholic Charity, and Ruben Anzures is celebrating 25 years. So I salute all three of you, and I thank you for being inspiring examples to all of us. Silvia, I'd like to turn to you and just say, you skillfully handle a wide range of important administrative duties related to our partner relations and our mission engagement. Can you tell our audience how you first became associated with Catholic Charities?
Sure. Good morning. I started working at the Immigration Department at 1300 South Wabash in May 26, 1987. I needed a job. Somebody referred me, so I started working there, and I worked there like for 4 years. Helping people, making appointments. We used to distribute food. I was a receptionist also. Then I moved on to work for the director of HR, Violet Sable, back then. And I worked for her like for another 3 or 4 years. Then I moved on to work for Veronica Glodowski. She was the director of Family and Age, a program that it was composed of the director, 2 supervisors, and 32 social workers. We had an immigration, not an immigration. We had secretary unit, which consisted of 2 other secretaries and myself. We used to take care of the clients. Some of the girls paid the rent for them. We used to give them money on a weekly basis. And after I was there for a while, then I moved on to work for the Board Relations Department. And that's where I've been for the past 21 years.
And over the years, Silvia, are there any staff members or administrators who really had a significant impact on you in shaping your commitment to Catholic Charities?
Yes. I had, first of all, Lena, who was my direct supervisor. She is great. She told me, if you make a mistake, everything you could fix. She gave me so much encouragement. But one of the people that really touched my heart was Bishop Conway. He came up one day when I was working up on the 6th floor at 126 North Des Plaines, and him and Sister Eileen, they were always like arguing about the Cubs, the White Sox, and vice versa. So they were talking, and I don't know, he said something like, oh, no, if we cannot help, how can we help people on the outside if we cannot help our own employees? And that stuck to my head, and I was like, he's right. If we're not well, how can we service other people?
That's beautifully said, Silvia. You know, and I have seen how you help nurture a sense of community and a sense of togetherness across Catholic Charities. You're a real doer, but you're also someone who does something with such warmth that everybody is invited to join with you and wanting to excel in their own jobs because you're a great leader in that regard. Can you describe what that sense of togetherness means to your work each day? That we're all here trying to serve clients to the best of our abilities. Can you explain to all of us what that means to you?
I feel good when I help somebody. A lot of the times people are like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I said, send it to me. I could do it for you. Or if you need me to, I could show it. I could show you how to do it. So to me, it's very rewarding when I'm able to help others.
And you do it very well. Is there a motto or a guiding principle that you have called on through the years to help you achieve your 35 years of service at Catholic Charities?
Just do your job and do the best you can, and that's all that matters.
That's a great way to come to work every day, right? That's a great principle to
Yes.
follow. I really am, like I said, so inspired by all three of you and your longevity, your dedication, your commitment to clients. Knowing all three of you, I know how very dedicated you are to your work each day. Can I ask all three of you what you like best about working for Catholic Charities all these years? Ruben, may we start with you?
Yeah, sure. But for me, it's a good feeling that knowing that you do something good to help other people, doing your everyday job. That's basically it. It's fulfilling.
It reminds me of that old phrase that if you love what you do every day, then you never have to work a day in your life, right? That's what you just said, kind of reminded me of that same phrase. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. How about you, Nancy?
I think besides my colleagues, I think helping immigrants, giving them a voice, and helping reunify with family members are the greatest for me, and I think it's the greatest for our immigration program. So helping immigrants and doing the best that we can do and bringing them to their families.
Beautifully said. And how about you, Silvia? What do you like best about working at Catholic Charities all these years?
I have met so many people through the years that I've been at Catholic Charities that is like some of I say kids because they're not kids, they're adults already, but they call me mom. So I have seen students from Mexico, from different parts of the world who have come through Catholic Charities. So I really enjoy them. And I also feel really good. Like sometimes you come through the door and you're like, oh my God, I have you have so many problems because we all have problems. But then when you listen to some of the people that call here and then you're listening to what they're saying, you're like, oh, wow, mine are nothing compared to theirs. So that makes me feel good that we're able to help them.
It does really put things in perspective when you hear the hardships and the struggles that some of our clients have on a day-to-day basis. It really humbles us and keeps us all in perspective of the importance of what, Catholic Charities' mission is all about. Before we run out of time, can I'll ask each one of you what it's like to be acknowledged for your years of service to Catholic Charities and what you thought of the big staff awards ceremony that we just held in a couple weeks ago. Ruben, again, may I start with you?
Thank you. Well, it is great to be recognized because if you think about it, every day we put our time and it's in our work, in our everyday work. It's like we put a little bit of our life in that task, in that responsibilities and helping other people. And now you can see this is like a sample, the three of us. We love to help people. Some people work directly in the field, some other behind the scenes on the office, but we all have the same common, feeling that we would like to help other human beings.
Beautifully said, Ruben. And how about you, Nancy?
It is a great feeling. It was truly amazing to be recognized for all the years of servicing the service, doing what I love to do, and helping to reunify families who have been separated for many, many, many years. This acknowledgement helped me to continue helping immigrants.
Thank you so much, Nancy. And how about you, Silvia?
It was a good feeling. It is a good feeling to know that you're being acknowledged for the years that you've been here. And, that makes me feel good.
And I'd like to add that our president and CEO, Sally Blount, made a point in her last memo to all the staff members that she, too, acknowledges that everybody's lives outside of Catholic Charities are rich and busy, but she so appreciates the dedication with which staff members bring to their profession, to their career every day. And so I know she joins, and she and all her leadership team join with me in thanking you, Nancy, Ruben, and Silvia, for your longtime dedication to Catholic Charities. I also want to acknowledge all the other honorees who were celebrated this year. We celebrate with you, we honor you, and we're inspired by you. I just wanted to say also that you've shown to the mission of Catholic Charities is inspiring to listen to what you said today. You and your families must be so proud of all you have accomplished in support of people in need, and we congratulate you on this amazing milestone you've achieved this year and wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for the invitation.
And we invite all of you again back next week for another edition of The Voice of Charity. For now, this is Katie Bredemann, and we thank you for tuning in and believing in the mission of Catholic Charities.